boy.
I think you're better at being the bully.
Hey guys, Davey Wavy here, creator of Himrose TV. And you know, sex can be a lot of things to different people. It can be fun, it can be hot, it can be really pleasurable. But what about healing? We recently released a Himrose TV scene featuring Jake Matthews and Gabriel Cross called Bully Pulpit, and it featured some really rough sex. And I mean, it was like spitting and grunting and groaning and name calling and choking.
Yes, sir.
So like, in other words, like a typical Tuesday night. I'm just kidding, that's Thursdays. Anyway, like a lot of people, and queer people, and gay men in particular, Jake was bullied growing up.
The scene really resonated with both of us as we both had extensive experiences with bullying as teenagers. I wasn't the butchest of children. And it took me a long time to find myself.
I was bullied severely all throughout elementary school and high school. They were some of the worst times of my life. I still remember there was one time, it still sticks in my head to this day, a kid came up to me and said that he's going to beat me up after school. And I asked him why. And he said because he didn't like the way I was. And that always stuck with me.
And so you can imagine doing a scene like this where there's choking and all this rough sex, it could be really triggering. But in this scenario that we filmed, there's one really key difference, and that is consent.
It was very much about taking the experiences of bullying when we were younger and taking control of them and allowing Jake being kind of empowered.
Bullying in a sexual form, but it's not bullying because it is enjoyed and it's sexual and, you know, it's a turn on in a sense.
And you asked for it.
And I asked for it as well, yeah.
So even though Jake is being pushed around and spit on, he's in control, he's calling the shots. Most importantly, he's in a really safe space where we're doing this.
I know when I was bullied, I often found a lot of my bullies very sexually attractive. Because it happened during a very kind of informative period of my life as a teenager. So it's very easy to understand then how certain words and certain behaviour can kind of become sexualised.
And actually one of my favorite moments in the entire scene is when Gabriel, who's this like incredibly attuned lover, he pushes his bicep around Jake's neck and starts to choke him, but checks in with him and says, "Is this okay?"
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'd like people to take away from that scene is, you know, for people to have a newfound confidence with their past endeavours with bullying. There is a way to take that trauma and take ownership of it instead of letting it own you.
I suppose it's important to kind of at times understand where certain sexual desires have formed from. And that it's okay to allow yourself to experiment with them. Letting yourself explore that kind of space can be not only incredibly gratifying, but also somewhat therapeutic.
And at the end of the scene, Jake and Gabriel do this really sweet debrief, which I want to share with you.
What makes you enjoy, what you feel makes you enjoy.
All of that?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's a sense of reclaiming the power, you know. In school, I was bullied relentlessly for the way I looked.
Same.
The way I dressed, how I was, who I was. So I guess now, being older, having changed, it's a way of reclaiming it. Saying, you know, I was scared back then, but now I'm not. You know, this is me. I'm into this now. And you can't put me down for it anymore.
100%. Yeah. It's empowering. Yeah. And I, on both sides, really get turned on by the use of the word faggot in a sexual sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it was something used as an insult towards me when I was younger.
Yeah. Kids suck.
Right? But it's also the kind of mutual respect needs to be there during the interaction.
Yeah. I felt so safe with you as well.
Dominant situation, it's not about kind of aggression or violence. People often misread it. It's more
Give and take.
Yeah, and reading you.
A lot of giving.
Yeah.
And a lot of taking. But I agree, yeah.
It's not violence or aggression. It's dominance is something very different to that.
Yeah. Sense of giving myself over to you and you taking care of me.
100%. Yeah, exactly that.
We get each other.
So anyway, I share all this because I think for a lot of dudes, sex, jerking off, it's about getting off. And there is this whole world of pleasure and experience and introspection if we're willing to dig a little bit deeper. I mean, the door is open and it's up to you to walk through it. And I think at some point in our lives, maybe just getting off gets a little bit boring. So anyway, that's what we're exploring on Himrose TV, but that's also what I'm exploring in my own life. That's what's interesting for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, more to come.